Welcome back to Disney Journey. I'm retired Imagineer Jim Shull, and on this special episode, I'm going to be talking about what I think are the top stories of the year 2024 for the Walt Disney Company. 2024 is the year that officially the Disney Company became unwoke. Whether it was because they were, responding to our times or simply pursuing a more risk averse strategy. Nonetheless, this had major impact. The impact affected the media that the Disney company produced. For as Bob Iger said, that's not what they're up to. But the result was to affect a lot of the programs that the people will see, including the episode of Win or Lose, which was pulled before it was released. For whatever the reason, the stock price for the Disney company went up. 2024 saw a lot of change at Disneyland, especially in the New Orleans Square area. The rivers of America continued to flow, and the Mark Twain continued to provide guests an opportunity to enjoy the river. From everywhere you look, there's always something to see on the rivers of America, although I have to say that this year, riding the Mark Twain, I realized just how much shorter the river is with the addition of Galaxy's Edge. But there's still views. There's still beautiful areas that we can look at. And obviously it was necessary to shorten the river in order to build Galaxy's Edge. And as a result, a new shoreline was formed to celebrate New Orleans Square, which is now the home of Bayou Adventure. In New Orleans Square, the Haunted Mansion gained a carriage house. This new building for retail occupied a beautiful green, lush environment that at one point was the fast pass for Splash Mountain. Now, I had expected an extension of the crypt, but what we got was this, which was, it's a lot of things, but it's not a crypt. And moreover, it doesn't really fit the theme of a spooky haunted mansion. I kind of expected it to be more along the lines of, drawing inspiration from the graveyard that was already there. Or perhaps Walt's own barn there in Griffith Park. Or perhaps the original carriage house that was designed for Phantom Manor in Disneyland Paris. Or an extension of Fowler's Harbor, which dates back to the early days of Disneyland. The shop provides a business opportunity to sell merchandise. But as always, you have to ask, just because you can do it, maybe you shouldn't. Because long-term brand withdrawal hurts a company more than the short-term gain. In any event, for whatever purpose and for whatever reason, this is the view from now on. 2024 was also the year that there's change announced for the Walt Disney World version of the Rivers of America. In fact, not just change, but closure. An essential part of the Magic Kingdom there in Florida has been the Rivers of America and Frontierland. Over the decades, it's become a lush, green, welcoming environment. But that's all about to change, to be replaced with, a lot of gravel. Now, the gravel is necessary because they're going to drain and cover over the river to transform it into their version of Cars Land. Now, not the one that's in California Adventure, but a smaller one with 2 rides, both family friendly. Expect in 2025 that this service road to the back of Frontierland will be used as a staging area for the future of Frontierland. What's interesting though about it is this also tells the story about Reedy Creek and how important it was to the Walt Disney Company, because the permits that were made public probably would not have been made public when there was a Reedy Creek. Since Reedy Creek is gone, I expect more information during the construction process. Among the bits of good news in 2024 is the announcement and documentation of the planting of a lot of trees at the Disney Studios Paris, which is soon to be renamed as Disney Adventure World. There's been many debates about whether or not Adventure World is the best name for this rebranded park, but it clearly is trying to get away from the idea that you're finding out how movies and TV shows are made to living an adventure inside of the media that's produced in studios. Regardless of whatever the reason is, when this park first opened, it only had a handful of trees in it relative to the other parks. So the idea now that a forest is being built there is a good thing. And it's part of the good things that are coming to that park as they're rethinking the original Soundstage 1 to create a more immersive, welcoming, and enjoyable area to be in when the park reopens, rebranded with its new name in 2026.
Among the announcements at this year's D23 was the news that finally Monkstropolis and the long-rumored Door Coaster were coming to the Hollywood studios at Walt Disney World.
Much of the original Muppet Studios that are going to be taken over by Monsters will be rethemed, rebranded, and reskinned. However, the Door Coaster is going to be moving out into the parking lot. Now, of course, this means that Muppets is going to be moving out, but they're moving, well, up the street into the Rock and Roller Coaster.
Among the announcements that probably should not have been unexpected news is that the character Bluey is going to be coming to many additional aspects of the Walt Disney Company in the near future.
The character Bluey is popular, but the show has only been on streaming. For the first time, though, Disney has announced that they're going to be moving out this character and his family into the theme parks and with a feature-length film. He'll be on the cruise ships starting in Asia as a test case, and assuming it's going to be successful, you'll be seeing Bluey and his family everywhere soon.
The Disney Company took a bit of a hit with movie sequels in the year 2024.
Among the movies that took a hit was Mufasa, a critically well-received, although very expensive movie to produce. Mufasa joined the ranks of other movies that failed to perform, such as Lightyear, or Strange World, or Wish. In each case, these sequels did not deliver on their promise. Looking into the crystal ball in 2025 is the return of Snow White in a very new and kind of different form. This live-action retelling, reimagining of the character is going to be one I'm interested in seeing. And then there's Lilo and Stitch. When these movies stop making money, they'll stop making these movies.
And since it all started with a mouse, it's appropriate that we end with one. Because in 2025, additional Mickey Mouse cartoon shorts will enter public domain.
Mickey Mouse in color entering the public domain is something to be excited about in 2025. For the rest of the year, well, I'll just keep my trusty old Magic 8 Ball here at my side.
That brings this episode and all of 2024 to a close. I have more planned for next year. But until then, I can say now, Happy New Year and goodbye from Lost Canyon.